Hello and welcome back to what used to be the Tuesday Thoughts Tarot video. Well, because it's Saturday and I'm off, I thought I would do a little recording for you today. We're coming up to the eclipse energy, April 8th, which is Monday. I just thought it'd be interesting, as I have been missing off the YouTube channel for a while, for today to be the day that I come back on and do a little tarot reading for you. So, as you're probably aware, if you follow the channel, I read intuitively and I will go through the tarot, and I have a few more decks here as well, where I will just try and get some messages and get some indication of the energy as we move through this weekend and as we move into the total solar eclipse, which is going to be seen and felt very intensely over America as well. We'll all feel it to a degree, but there's going to be a lot of visibility in America, so there's a lot of talk about it, there's a lot of drama being created about it, but I feel the important thing is to understand that there's a lot of energy around, there's a lot of energy coming in. I don't know if you're having sleepless nights or crazy dreams, just like I have like interesting dreams anyway. I have quite full and vibrant dreams anyway. But a lot of people who aren't used to dreaming might notice that they're dreaming a lot and there's scenarios and people and things, and it's just their head clearing out and stuff coming up to clear. So that is something to be aware of as well. Sleeplessness, which can leave you tired as well. So if you fancy a nap the following day, if you can do that, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, get to sleep where you can. So use the time you can to relax. So I'm going to start with tarot, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a shuffle, and then I've got a few other decks that I might go into. So we're just asking the tarot to give us a little clue as to the energy of especially this potent time of the eclipse, but also maybe going into the week of the 8th of April, and sort of being in the weekend. Oh, that one flipped over. Interesting. Being in the weekend of what are we now? 6, 7, 8. So lucky enough to have today off. I've grounded, opened up and protected my energy. I've got some incense wafting around, and I'm ready just to do a reading to see what comes up for the week ahead. Oh, another one flying out. Okay, and then we've had a load more turnover, as you can see. So I'm just going to grab those once you've turned over and let that be the read. Okay, just bear with me while I go and get the other one that's full. Okay, so I just picked that one up off the floor, which is this card. I'm going to keep these turned over. I'm not sure what they are yet, but I know these two cards, so let's go with them to begin with. So we have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is a refusing to see, not willing to look at what's going on around you, unable to see perhaps. It can point to there being a choice. So we've got two swords, two different ways, choosing between one and the other. Or it can just be information is not clear. We're not seeing. You can see she has her eyes covered there. So she's not willing to look at the information which is around her, the information which is being delivered. There's a lot of air energy, which is the swords, but also the birds flying in, which points to that connection to the higher, points to the mind. So confusion in the mind over making a decision. Someone who has a decision to make, but they're not willing to actually get into the nitty-gritty of each element to really understand what's going on and to make that clear point, that clear decision. It does point to it being a little bit choppy. The waters here are choppy. I'm not sure if you can see that. They're a little bit choppy, so that leads to a little bit of tension, a little bit of underlying uneasiness, a little bit of emotional turmoil as well. So there is something that is weighing on the mind where you're having to deliberate over this way or that way, and yet you're not looking at the truth of it. You're not looking at what is actually happening around you. There's a lot of blue here, so there's a lot of communication which isn't happening. There's kind of a block in this communication. She's wearing this robe of blue which is so expressive. The throat is blue. The throat is your expressive center, so where you speak but also hearing, listening, that tuning in, that expression. And it seems to be that she is not receiving that. She's not able to express. She's not able to get that communication. We have birds, we have a moon here as well, so you could say that is kind of, it's possibly a new moon. Can you see that? New moon. There we go. And there is a butterfly there as well flying in. So actually there's a few little butterflies there flying in. So there is an element of transforming. There is an element of this stage before you make that decision, that turmoil, that overthinking, that what would you say? It's a decision-making process. It's needing to decide. So let's see what the next cards say. So the one that jumped out and really wanted to be seen was the Tower. So the Tower is change, but it's usually massive change. You have this band of lightning coming in, which hits the Tower and strikes it afire. And that lightning is heaven sent. It is from spirit. There needs to be massive change here. There needs to be some sort of breaking down, some sort of crumbling of what was. These people are leaving this building. There's a letting go in order to rebuild something better. So it could be leaving a home, it can be eviction, it can be your own home crumbling, your own home tumbling down. But in order to rebuild it, it has to tumble down so you can have better foundations. I know there are a lot of people in Donegal who are having problems in Ireland with mica in the structure of their homes is basically crumbling around them. The walls of their home are crumbling, and many of them are having to demolish their homes to rebuild. So there's a sense of needing to leave it, needing to be just to let go and to jump for cover. And this is difficult, this is emotional, this is upsetting. But there is this crumbling of this tower in order to build with better foundations. So whatever it is in your life, something massive is going to change. Something is going to come in and need to be destroyed, essentially, in order that you can rebuild it better. So there is something where they say, this massive change can come into your life. And it can be something like terrible that you weren't expecting. This thing happens, and it's like, why is that happening? Why is my world falling apart? But it's happening to move you to a better position. So despite it being difficult, it is spirit-led. So it is actually moving you to a better scenario. Now we can put it with this one. So we have these decisions to make, but we're unwilling to see that we need to actually just let it all go. And we're refusing to see that. We're refusing to see what needs to happen. And we're hoping for some information. We're hoping for some new ideas to come into us. We have to make this decision, but we don't want to make this decision. Very interesting. As the next cards, I'm going to read as they have fallen out. So we've got Temperance. Sorry, I have a creaky chair. Temperance is, so it's angelic work. It is the healer card. It is the third eye, opening of the third eye. And you can see you've got rainbow energy, which is this new energy which is coming into us. And it advises us to be balancing, so balance our emotions. You can see here she's pouring from one cup to the other. And one cup is gold and one cup is silver. So it's balancing the sides of yourself as well, the masculine and the feminine, knowing that you have two sides, knowing that there needs to be this give and take, this emotional flow between these two parts of you. And perhaps if you are having a difficult situation where everything is crumbling, it's asking you to tune into that softer side, that feminine side, but it's also asking you to balance out that masculine side, that drive side, that there's possibly something that needs to be done, which is the masculine, the doing, the outward, but also to take care of the nurturing, to look after yourself in this transition. So it's balancing those two sides. You can see here she's dipping her toe in the water, so dipping your toe into something, not fully committing yet, but there is a process. You know, she's got rainbow wings as well. So this process of this new energy, this new rainbow light that's coming in, this new rainbow energy that's coming to the planet, this galactic energy, this light, you know, the rainbow. So all of the colors make white light. So this is the white light pouring onto the planet to uplift. Yes, we have mountains here. Yes, there is ups and downs that are going to happen. But by tuning into the angelic realm, tuning into the healing vibrations of that, you're going to be able to temper whatever it is that's happening for you. Okay? Then we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant can be emotional connections, sort of to husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, cousins, you know, those emotional contacts that we have. It can also point to, as you see, he's pointing to the heavens, so connecting to the heavens. He's reading a book, so there's this gaining of knowledge through the heavens. He's 3 layers in his crown, mind, body and soul. So it is this gathering of information, this downloading of information. And how do you do that? There can be some religious element to this as well, some devotion. There can be a need for prayer or that connection through the Hierophant, that wisdom that comes through. He's got 2 keys here on his chain, and for me, I'm just reading that now. Keys of the old home and keys of the new home. So the old home had to crumble, but perhaps you've kept a key, but then you're going to have a new key of the new home. And he's showing his leg here, so he's showing his humanness. So although he is incredibly dedicated to his religion or his spiritual development, he's also very human. He's also here on the ground. He's also, you know, subject to all things physical that we all are. And, you know, I need to understand that we all have a spiritual I was going to say side, but we are spiritual beings, but we're also physical, and we're also in this physical realm. So there's a need to draw down as much support as we can from these higher elements, from the angelic realm. Draw down that and get the wisdom, get the guidance. You know, connect to the higher to receive your guidance. He's here between 2 pillars. So building new structures, building stronger structures, building structures where you can, you know, he's on a block here. So using new blocks, using correct blocks. This can also be, if you're like into Tai Chi or anything, this little magician can be like the sword. So you have a sword rather than the physical sword which we would use. You also have this kind of finger sword that we do as well. So an element of having that strength, being able to go to war in a way, being able to not go on the attack, but stand your ground, defend yourself, use your metal, you know, to create this newness which is coming in, to develop these new foundations, this new pillar in your life, in your world, in your building, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to be able to physically implement these, place them in. It's like he's an architect or a contractor. He's studying where to place these different elements in his life, in his land, in his site. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles it's a good card because you have money, but you can see here that he is holding on to his money. So there is a fear of losing the money. There is a kind of an obsession with holding on to the money, not willing to give any of the money away. But he does have, quite a few savings tucked away in this little box. He has adequate amount of money. And there is a tan here in the background. So he's concerned about the tan. He's concerned about people asking him for money. He's concerned about the money he will need to spend. There is an element of be careful of who's asking you for money, or be careful of the money that you give away. But also not to feel like you are in lack. Because he, in a sense here, it's fearful that the whole town is going to come and want his money. And so he's holding on to it. So there's a need to move away from that fear or that essence of feeling lack. Because then he holds tightly to the money, and the money needs to be circulated. If you're holding on to it, then you have this fear of lack, and then that's what you recreate in your life, this sense of lack. So whatever is happening, you might feel like you haven't any money, or your savings are dwindling, the cost of living, savings are going down, perhaps you overspent, perhaps you need to hold on to it now. So there is an acknowledgement of some sort of element to do with money and work, which is your earning potential. But 4 is a good number. So 4 is a number of foundation. So perhaps you're needing to dip into some savings to build these new foundations. Perhaps you're needing to use up some of your money, but you don't want to use it all. You want to keep some back while you're building this new foundation. This box is red. So red is the base chakra. Red is your grounding. Red is the earth. Red is wealth. So there is money in here. It's kept in this beautiful red box, and you may have to spend some of it, but don't spend it all. Keep some to one side for yourself. He's dressed in green, so it is a fertile period. It is heart-centered. There's growth, fertility, possibility for growing that coin, taking that coin and growing it, making it work for you. But in saying that as well, using some money that you may have put to one side towards the building of these new foundations. And with the city in the background, you might feel a little bit far from the city, a little bit far from your people, far from custom, far from merchandise. I'm thinking of merchants, the old merchants, shopkeepers, salespeople, customers, business. And there might be a period where you're having to spend what you've earned before you can go back into the time and earn again. And then we have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is a lovely card, so it's usually a young energy. The wands are very creative and fiery, so you can see he's got lots of suns all over his outfit here. So that's the yang energy, again the sun energy, the solar eclipse. His feather is going right up to the heavens, so this energy, this solar energy, this yang energy, this vibrant power is coming from the heavens. So it's this connection to the cosmos as well, this information coming in, this creative line coming into the head. And he's there with his wand, which is his project, which is what he's going to be working on, which is what he's going to be stepping forward on. Lots of yellow, so that's that fiery nature colour. He's very connected to the ground. He's putting his staff in the ground. He's saying, we'll build it here. This is where it's going to be. This is where we're going to start this project. This is where we're going to get creative. This is where we're going to need the energy. We need the energy, and we need sunlight. We need good days to rebuild this home. We need sunshine. We need dry weather. And he's putting his stake in the ground. I think there was a thing in America when the first Irish went to America, and they were given lots of different possible areas of land, and they had to ride off into the hillside and claim their piece of land by putting the stake into the ground. So there's a claiming here, and he's comfortable with that. He's not anxious. He's confident. He can see something's going to come out of this. So that's what we have in your tarot. So very much linking it to home, to rebuilding home. It being a difficult decision to make, perhaps one you didn't want to have to make. You kind of saw it had to happen, but you couldn't figure out how it was going to happen. And then you made the decision, and it happened. You had to collapse the whole tower. You had to collapse the whole building. And then in doing so, there's a healing, there's a grief, there's a letting go. There's, you're not fully settled. You have to rebalance your energies, your emotions over and over again. Building a home is very emotionally draining, as well as physically draining, as well as financially draining. And this need to restructure, reconnect mind, body and soul, bringing all of that guidance, bringing all of that energy, bringing all of that architecture, placing new pillars on the ground that have required you to spend some money, but not all of your money. Keep some back for emergency purposes. But know that you are starting on this creative journey. There is this creative endeavour which is presenting itself, and that's what you're about to step out onto. So I'm going to go to Archangel Michael now and just do a little shuffle of these and see if he has anything to say about that, the information we've got so far. It doesn't have to be that your house is collapsing or falling down. It could simply be that you're moving, you've decided to move home and you're having to set up somewhere else, which again is relocation is a big move. Relocation sets up all kinds of emotions, all kinds of financial restriction, all kinds of creative ideas, because you have to redecorate or some such. So this is the card that came out. Your home is protected by angels. Well, that's lovely. So it says, Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I can easily afford to pay my rent, mortgage, or taxes. So, like we had the Temperance, bring in the angelic realm to help you. We had the Hierophant, connect to the higher and get your guidance on how to manage it, how to bring that information and manage stuff in the physical world, and then manage the finances. We need help with the finances, and we're calling out, we're asking for the angels to help us. So Archangel Michael has come forward to say your home is protected. So whether it's a new home, a relocation, whether it is refurbishing, whether it is starting again, like these mica homes that have to be tumbled to rebuild from the ground up, from the foundations, it is being protected. There is protective energy around each and every one of you, so that you can perhaps redesign your home, perhaps bring more of a spiritual energy into your home. Trust that you are being helped and that this is the best outcome overall, because if you live in a home which isn't up to par, which is crumbling around you, it's not safe, it's not secure, it's not healthy, and there is a requirement that for your best good that it is tumbled so you can have a better quality of home. And this is a nice little cottage, so it's not a big mansion, so something that fulfills your needs, something that you can make homely, something that I can see here, it is in the countryside, so it is possibly to do with those who are living in countryside as opposed to city living. But Archangel Michael is very much here overseeing the progress, overseeing the process, and that is wonderful to know. Let's just get another card from Archangel Michael, because that one is always wonderful to get. It's kind of spot on, and I love getting it. Even just to know that Michael is here and watching over and protecting us. So, okay, so there's too many that flew out, but one of them is face up, so I'm going to take the one that's face off. One of them is face up, which is this one. And it is sense of humour. And so through difficult phases and difficult things that you may need to go through, one of the best ways and most healing ways and healthiest ways is to, if you can, have a little bit of a sense of humour, lighten the trauma of it with some lightheartedness. Know that you're being helped, know that there is guidance, know that this is for the best good. And if you can crack a joke about some sort of element of it, it lightens it, it takes the seriousness out of it. Yes, it's serious, but it'll just help you manage your emotions, help you manage and deal. There's something about laughing that releases tension. So if you're able to have a giggle, just because a terrible thing is happening doesn't mean that you can't have a giggle now and again. Terrible things are happening all over the world. So I'm just reading this differently now as well. Terrible things are happening all over the world, but there needs to be an allowance for you to have some joy in your heart, to have a giggle, to be able to have a laugh at something, in order to balance your own energy, in order to realign, in order to give yourself some solace to continue. So it'll bolster you, it will lighten your heart. And sometimes when you're laughing and giggling and having fun, you get good ideas. It's that creative spark, it's that fire energy coming in, that belly laughter. How often do you do that anymore as adults? And especially if there's something serious going on. You never really get a chance to have a big belly laugh. Life is serious and life is always demanding of us. We might have a few giggles at TikTok, but it's not intense. It's not a big belly laugh. It's not one of those laughs where, you're almost crying and then it carried on and you couldn't stop and it was hurting and your cheeks were hurting and your belly was hurting and oh my goodness, the muscles in your tummy. And a really good comedy show is good for that, and you just come out of it and it's almost, it clears your energy. So it says, thank you for helping me see the humour in this situation so I can lovingly laugh at human nature. I am willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. And that's it as well. If you are able to shift your energy with a sense of humour, if you're able to lighten your energy with a sense of humour, all good things come to that light energy. So it's a magnetic pull that you're pulling in. And if your energy, aura, your field is of a higher vibration, which laughter can bring you to that higher vibration, fun and joy brings you to that higher vibration, then you get remedies, you get resolution, you get answers, you get guidance much easier and quicker as well. So it's okay to have a giggle now and again. Just when I was looking down, I was just quickly seeing slightly different read in this, so I'm just going to run through that very, very quickly for you. So we have a lot of powers that be that have gone to war, that are using their ideas, their thoughts, their thinking, their beliefs to challenge. And it's almost my side versus your side. This choice, this two ways, this two sword is me against you. The communication is not constructive. It's like this dynamic is happening and no one's willing to actually see the damage that has been done. The lands are near water, and someone is holding all of the power. They're holding someone to ransom. They're imprisoning people. They're blindfolding people. They're stopping people from communicating. They're stopping people from expressing. They are keeping people under armed guard. And they're doing it from their ivory tower. They're doing it from the seat of power. But we would say that for the new moon, new energies coming in, we would say that we have transformation occurring. We would say that there is support coming in. There is support coming in if we can see it. But the lands have been destroyed. The buildings have been destroyed. They have been bombed. They are crumbling. They are rubble. People have had to flee their home. People have been, how do I say this? There have been explosions where people have suffered, where people are lost. The whole of this area is crumbling into these emotions, these tears, this well of upset and emotion. This place by the sea is being destroyed. So bring in the angelic energy, bring in the higher vibration, bring in the rainbow energy. Call on your angels to help you. Think they don't exist, they do. They are energetic, vibrational beings who can assist and are assisting. So this is saying that they are assisting. You might think they're not, but they are. So everyone who has had to leave their home, they are not alone. The angels are here. Everyone who has passed away due to the destruction, the angels have come and collected them. The angels have helped heal them. The angels have brought them from this dense world into the lighter vibration. They've brought them across the rainbow bridge. They've brought them to the heavens. So it's time for new structures to be put in place. It's time for a spiritual download to occur. It's time for these ascended masters to come in and filter into these beings. It's time for new dialogue to happen. It's time for new contracts to be made up. It's time to look at the higher aspect of this. It's time to see what's happening and record what's happening, but also to see, it's a prayer, it's a seeing the destruction, it's a not willing to put up with this anymore, it's a renegotiating at the table, it's a calling on the higher in this process. There's a rebuilding that will occur. There will need to be a rebuilding of this place. And I think many people will come together to do that. And the city, and often the far ground, so we have a separation. People have been pushed away from their homes, away from the city walls. They are left in poverty and lack. Their money is running out. We know their money is running out, their food is running out. They're holding on tightly to whatever they have, and they're begging for help. And they are looking across to the city, and there are certain people over here, and they're just living like normal. They're carrying on with their lives. They seem to be oblivious to this poverty, to this destruction, to this lack, to this crisis, financial crisis. And if there's nothing to buy, money won't get you anything. If there's no food to buy, it doesn't matter how much money you have. This is a warning to all of us. If the food is kept within the city and we can't get to it, then it doesn't matter if we're holding on to this coin. However, we have the Page of Wands. We have an energy which is full of creativity, full of passion, full of youthful exuberance, ready to begin again, ready to, like I said, put the stake in the ground. This land is ours. We are going to build. This is heaven sent. This is solar supported. We are connecting to the earth. We are connecting to the nature of the land. There's, a few flames here, so that's fieriness. Get the fire in your belly. Think creatively. This is almost the rebirth, like the phoenix from the flame. So from the ashes, the phoenix will rise. The phoenix rises out of the fires. I will rise. I will survive. The phoenix is the rebirth, the newness, the power. Nothing can keep the phoenix down. Nothing can destroy it. It rises out of the ashes. So your home is going to be protected. The angels are working. Like we saw, the angels are here. They're taking note. They're very aware. Angels work for all religions, by the way. It isn't just one particular religion that believes in angels. Pretty much all of the religions believe in some sort of angelic force or some sort of light being, energy being force. So it's not specific to a Christian, for example, religion. Angels work in many of the religions. So there's a need to understand that it's time to call on them. Draw them in. Send them to these areas. And then it is terrible, it is heartbreaking, but we have to remember that if we saturate ourselves in that energy 24/7, we will become very unhealthy and we will be unable to help. And you often see in refugee camps that these amazing volunteers who go and work with people who have been traumatized, particularly children, and they're doing all these sort of circus acts, clown acts, puppeteering, art, singing, dancing, acting, all these kinds of things, and they're making the little children giggle and laugh. They're giving them some sort of hope and brightness in that dark, dark day. And that's healing. Laughter. That release of tension. That moment of joy, that moment of forgetting the nastiness. That childlike innocence. That hope. There's just something about that freedom to just laugh for a moment. It's so healing and so important. And I want you to remember that. Yes, it's terrible what's happening. But do give yourself a moment of free expression of laughter, should that arise for you. Because if you're so downtrodden and worn out by this, there'll come a point where you won't be able to fight the good fight. So there is a necessity to, in whichever way, this is sense of humour is just one avenue of self-care. But there needs to be, as well, laughter is communication. Laughter, I'm just seeing two people in the midst of this destruction, two men who are chatting, and someone makes a smart comment or a sarky comment, and the other one kind of laughs at him, and then both of them have a little laughter between them, but they're still in the mess and they're still coming back to the mess. But for that brief second, there was an elevation in their energy. Wow. Okay. Let me go to this one. So I got these beautiful bags at the Lavender Path, where I work out of as well for my healing and tarot and mediumship, and that's in Letterkenny. And I will be back there May 23rd, Thursday. So if you want to book in with me there, I've got a couple of appointments left, and I'm just going to shuffle these. Oh, what's that? That's weird. It's so weird sometimes. I'm going to be back there on the 23rd of May, and you can find me there. And Karen, who works there and who owns the practice, the Lavender Path, she so kindly lets me come in and do some of my work there too. But she's got these gorgeous little bags for your cards. They're beautiful. So, and I've got a blue one as well. So she has a load of treasures in that little place. Crystals, essential oils, incense, different aloe vera products, different angelic products, and I just love the bags. I think they're great. Okay, so Princess of Light, can we have one card, please? I hope this has been interesting for you, and I hope it's helped, because this is a period of time where there's a lot going on and it can be hard. Soul destroying and emotional. Oh, amazing. I might just go put the light on because it's very dark. Okay, that's a bit better, a bit more light. So this is what we need. Miracles. It's exactly what we need now. A miracle to stop the fighting. A miracle to help you in your transition, whatever that may be, whether your house is coming, your personal house is coming tumbling down, whether you're having to relocate, where something is about your foundations, it's about your home, it's about where you live. But on the grander scale, if you are in a war-torn area, and there's so many in the world, there's so many places. I think there's 24 wars going on at the moment. So we need miracles. we need massive miracles. Maybe this is what the 8th is about. Maybe this is what the total eclipse is going to bring in. This rush of new energy, which is going to change people. Often humans don't change. They don't develop. They don't go deeper. They don't go into their spiritual selves. They don't do any inner work unless their life gets very, very, very tough. Most often, it's from illness. So if someone becomes ill, suddenly they take an interest in their body, in their mind, in their soul. So there has to be that, often, there has to be that push or that scare or that shock before somebody actually does the inner work, does what they need to. But miracles for me would point to the angels are here and the angels are working with us. Fingers crossed, we're going to get some good news. You can see there's a little sun here as well. So that makes me think maybe this is to do with the eclipse. So 3 and 9, 3, 6 and 9, they're the magic numbers. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 and 2 is 3, so there's your 3 again. And she's got like a little crystal light here, right in the center, right in her solar plexus, which is her power center. And is that a dove, or is that an owl? Or is that an eagle? It'll tell me in the book. There's a lot of gold here. She's embellished with gold as well. Nice gold bracelets and headdress. So there's an Egyptian element to this, which could point to the Holy Land as well. I am reading a book, The Knights Templar. And I picked it up just on a whim one day in the library. And I'm reading it, and I didn't realise, but that all began way back when. Many, 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 many years ago, where the fighting over the lands of the Holy Land began, and that's where the Knights Templars began, and the Knights of the Round Table and all of that. And it just is fascinating to read this history from so long ago, and passing from one to the other, back to the other, back to the other, and here we are. The same thing is happening. But let me read this. Oh, it says Ancient Wisdom. Miracles, Ancient Wisdom. So let's do a little read of this, and then I'm going to pick one more card. 39. So, the High Priestess of Ancient Societies holds the spark of human consciousness between her fingers, gathering the energy of the heavens above, connecting it to the resonance of the earth below. Serenely focused, she aligns these powerful frequencies with the unseen vibrations of universal intention. She is the priestess of mysteries, representing miracles, divinity, and magical wisdom and power. Ancient societies vibrated at a frequency powerful enough to build miraculous structures, including the Great Pyramids of Egypt and the singular stone obelisks, arranged in formations designed to direct massive amounts of energy. They reveal the magical feats of it achievable by harnessing the power of ancient wisdom and inner knowing. This card tells you that you now have the ability to approach your life in this profoundly aligned way. You are moving into a time when miracles of every nature can be manifested. In fact, they are your birthright. Great accomplishments are yours when you let go of the striving and open yourself to the ancient wisdom quietly filtering through that part of your consciousness connected to eternal truths. Blue Reiki light radiates around this medicine woman. It's a beautiful blue light, indicating that these up-and-coming miracles may include healing. You have the wisdom to re-establish order and balance in your physical, mental, and emotional life. This is a reminder to engage in sacred physical practices such as yoga, dance, tai chi, qigong, or walking in nature as well, as sacred, mindful practices such as meditation and prayer. So engage in those things that can soothe the soul, so you are able, like I said earlier, to fight the good fight. Focus and serenity will power your conscious creation as you journey deep into your inner knowing. You are a seer and a great manifester. Your own ancient wisdom will unlock the door to life-changing miracles. You can say, I receive and accept the wisdom and power of the ancient societies. Truly exciting miracles are appearing in my life. And for me, that would be, you have this energy, you have this access to ancient wisdom. It is not just the clairvoyance anymore, it is everyone. You all have access to all of these abilities and all of these skills. So take part in some of these endeavors to help you tune in and tap in. It will be beneficial to you, and it will help you. It's not just an avoiding or a distraction from what's going on. You're actually refining your system. You're actually building your system. You're actually making yourself stronger. You're actually becoming the warrior by these practices, so you're able to manage these tower moments that come in. Okay, so if it's your own home, if it's your own relocation, trust that if you engage in some self-nurturing and engage in some active practices that just will help you. It might even be lighting a candle in your new place. It might be burning some incense in your new place, burning some sage just to clear the energy, clear your own energy. These things will help it evolve, and miracles happen, and things come in, and stuff changes. So it's definitely worth doing. I'm going to do another quick card from another deck just before we finish. But I hope that has helped. I hope it's resonated. There's definitely a lot of destructive energy out there, and a lot of taking sides. And even if you're quite the activist and you're willing to fight for everyone's rights, you can imagine that not everyone in one country is behind what that country is doing, and as such your hatred or your anger needs to be directed at the right sources, and be careful about being a vessel for hatred and anger as well. It can diminish your light, and we want you to keep your light strong for this part. So we have the garden. Now, I don't know what these cards are. I don't think I've had the garden before, actually. So let's see what the garden says. It's a closing message. Oh, so the garden refers to activities outside the house, social events, gathering, festivities. It can indicate the media, public opinion, professionalism. It means getting pleasure from active rest or recreation. It could also indicate success in creative and social projects. In the negative aspect, it means unreasonable illusions, narcissism, and superficial relations. It suggests the need to more realistically evaluate yourself. So I would say from this, the media, public opinion, others looking into your life. When you're in the garden, you're looking back into your house, so it's the outside perspective looking in. But it's also, a garden is fruitful. It is worth planting a garden. It is worth, we reap what we sow, so be careful what you're sowing. 20, it is number 2. 2 is very much about couples, about togetherness, about two sides coming together. And we've got a nice little kind of, why am I thinking pavilion? It's not a pavilion though, is it? It's a but I would say nature, I would say rebuilding, growth, fertility, replenishing what was lost. We also have a man here, so there's some link to a man here. 28. I'm trying to not let this go over an hour. So it can indicate a lover, a spouse, or sibling, or father, or son. It explores the important role of a man in this reading. Can represent himself, strength of spirit, will, persistence, perseverance, strength and courage. In the negative aspect, it can bring up insolence, arrogance, rudeness, and aggression. So there might be a man who is connected to all of this. So that male energy, which can want to control the outcome. It can be about complex decisions and someone pursuing their own goals. Okay, and the final one is, oh gosh, look at the lady. So we've got a man and a woman here, and actually, if you have them like this, they're looking at each other. So balancing the masculine and feminine, as we said earlier. He's got heart here, so he's the male of heart. So maybe there is someone coming into your life who is bringing a love energy with him. And she's very well dressed, and she's got her earrings and her hair tied up, and quite maybe Grecian in a way as well. So again, it could be wife, lover, sister, girlfriend, mother, daughter. It can indicate serious changes in the future. Can also mean that yin, that passivity, compliance, intuition, instinct, or nurturing. Femininity, soft and gentle. A need to be more flexible, to look for a compromise. Speaking about favourable conditions, taking care of oneself physically and emotionally. So perhaps there needs to be a compromise between the two warring elements, between the two sides. They need to come together. You know, it's the stubbornness of the man, and this person has more control, and this is the weaker element, it would seem. But it needs to be balanced. The yin and the yang need to be balanced. They need to come together for resolution. And I'm just going to do one more quickly before we go to these are cards I got in the Lavender Path. Thank you. Oh, it's gone. Okay. Right action. This is what needs to happen. It says, let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. So when change happens, we can't stay the same as the old. We have to embrace the new. And so that does mean letting go of what was, rebuilding something completely new, and being prepared not to hang on for dear life to what was. So it's difficult, but this is what it's saying, and this is where freedom comes in. You can see there's loads of birds flying around there, there's loads of blue. So it's that communication, that freedom, that willing to start again, that willing to take on this information that's coming through. Lots of blue. She's floating around there. There's some chains which are being broken. So right action is understanding what you need to let go of so that the good can come into you as well. It's not just action. It's choosing the right action. Okay? blessings. I hope you enjoyed that read. It was wonderful to be back on and reading for you again. I have missed it terribly, but my home was under a lot of reconstruction and refurbish and etc, so it actually was difficult for me to actually find the space and time to do this. So thank you for watching. I hope it all helped and made sense to you. My hair is an absolute mess today. But any questions, leave a comment below and I will get back to you very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.